Solving quadratic equations by factoring. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to follow our factoring steps and then add an extra step, which is applying the zero product property to solve these quadratics by factoring. All right, so with this equation we have here, 7x squared minus 14x equals negative 7. Okay, it's not in standard form, so we need to fix it. So I'm going to take this negative 7 and put it on the other side of the equal sign. So when I do that, we get a plus 7 over here. Every time you pull it over, change the sign, then it equals 0. Okay, so step 1's done. It's in standard form. Second step is to look for GCF. Okay, this has a GCF of 7. So write 7 out front, and then divide every term by 7. So we're going to get x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. All right, so now we factor what's inside the parentheses only. All right, so I'm going to apply my x method right over here. Okay, b term is a negative 2. A times c is going to be a 1. My a value is a1. All right, and then on top, I'm going to pick my factors. Okay, so these particular factors are going to be negative 1 and negative 1. Okay. So negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is a negative 2. Okay, so the top and the bottom check out. So those are my factors. So I'm going to rewrite this in intercept form. Do not forget our GCF, that's our 7. And we're going to have x minus 1 times x minus 1 equal to 0. All right, so this last step, we apply the zero product property. We're going to take each factor and set it equal to 0. The 7 in front, the GCF, is kind of irrelevant because if you divide both sides by 7, they just cancel out, and we're going to be left with x minus 1 times x minus 1, and that'll equal 0. So that GCF will be irrelevant no matter what it is. All right, so applying the zero product property, x minus 1 equals 0, x minus 1 equals 0 again. Solve both sides of it. We're going to get x equal to 1. Okay, so these are the same number. So basically what that means is that this is a double root. And that just happens, let's say this is 1. That happens where your vertex, or your quadratic looks, is on the x-axis.